Please turn to page 7 of the prayer book. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, in knowledge and in good conduct, Sagata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. The founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sagata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sagata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then I prostrate, with pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best law, to you I prostrate. A supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean. To you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of gods, protectors hide, to tip of this fresh, pure white Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunities. Your beauteous body, fame, glory outstanding. Homage to you with while to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light, perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings sent out and in vision, offered up to you, supreme field of merit. None but you committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted 3 vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned 8 mundane concerns, made life essence full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I fear gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable Lobsang Dragpas essential teachings specially shine forever. Migmate say wake their chen raisig, dream make yampe wangpo jampel Lupung malu zom te sang wedak, kanchen ke pei Urgyen song kappa, Lobsang drag bishop la so wide. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted 3 jewels. Thus if I heard at one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, was looking perfectly at the practice of profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, how should a child of the lineage strain who wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomena. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. And because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in a state of unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, Superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praise had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the Holy Supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places Dakinis. Om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewel speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, shanti kuriya soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here right now. Saji Perki Joshing Meto Trari Rablinji Ni Degyan Padi Sangye Jindu Me Sangye Drupa Sho Jodan Choke Jonam La Janchu Badu Dagni Kyap Suchim Yagi Chunyen Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Penche Sangye Drupa Sho Jodan Choke Jonam La Janchu Badu Dagni Kyap Suchi Dagi Chunyen Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Penche Sangye Drupa Sho
Rook. Yes. Scary. Good. How are you? Good day? Nice day? Have you been beach yet? No time? Maybe Kimber, you can open the door. And the weather's warm. You don't just close everything. Just be relaxed. And then cold, we can keep the heat inside. Then too hot, we have to keep cool inside. Again, we have to close. Right? But I think finally we got spring. Spring or summer? We call spring, right? But it's pretty same as summer. Anyway, it's good. Okay. How's your homework? You guys did? Good. Anyway, it's not easy, we all the time talk. But this is a very special subject. It's the Buddhism science. We study Buddhism science. You guys already study the Western scholar, what's a psychology? How is it? Psychology. How can psychology? Psychology. Right? Psychology. Now we study this Buddhism psychology. You guys already know, what the physical things. Now we check a little bit mental things. Also, like the five first one, how you call this? Five. Kundonga.
Five omnipresent.
Only, I say? Omnipresent. Five omnipresence. It's also caring for us through samsara. Correct. Koalapa.
So it causes us to circle in cycling instead.
Right? Sometimes we don't know. Therefore, usually we say, okay, the stupas empty, the statues empty, books empty, pillows empty, cars empty. You don't have to think about it like that. The main thing is some more difficult, something to challenge. Then that time to just really not exist inherently. Sometimes some people say, not much time to thinking, I have to think about the blessings, I have to think about this is all emptiness. You only think about all the time like that. Yesterday someone talked about this. Like, I'm going to see the stupa. I said, oh, it's big blessing. And I'm thinking, oh, this is emptiness. The cement's not stupa, the thing's not stupa, the stupa is not existed, in order to get blessing, then there's nothing to exist, like that, you have to not think about like that all the time. Something, some difficult situation, then think about emptiness. It's nothing to exist generally. It's nothing to exist, unchangeable things. Sometimes up, down, sometimes up, down. Okay? Practice, when we have some difficult situation, some challenge, that time we have to put into practice a little bit. Everything's good, as I'm practice, no one bother you. Okay, good day. It's not really. Of course you are very good day, usually not much help. When they have challenged something, then you put into practice, then think about more. Okay? That's it. Now I don't have to talk too many things, You guys already know. Right? We just go to the comical subject, otherwise we didn't finish last week anything. We have also go to the homework. I have too many books here. I use 3 different commentaries. I use one here. This is also there. His Holiness, make that for the Geshe to combines for Buddhism science. They have 2 books. I think they already translate English. They have 2 books. They all collect all the different kanjurs. Right now we say, I'm going to study kanjur. Now, which book study? I'm too complicated, right? You read, have you guys read the 8,000 Pajana Paramita? How is it?
8,000 line Pajana Paramita.
Yeah. Have you guys read this? I think Devra read it. Yeah, Devra got translation. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Have you guys read?
I haven't.
But you read that you have not much understanding. Always emptiness, look again. Like repeat again. They talk about, 5 body. How is it? Karo. 5 senses, like that. They talk about that, Like same as Harsutra. Like you don't really know what's going on, what I have to study, Therefore, like this is His Holiness told the Geshes to like combine for Kanjur and Tenjur. Okay, which book talk about the science? Put simply any day, click here, they all put together. Which book talk about like view? They put together. Which talk about only the practice? They put together. Like there are 2 books, they talk about mind and mental factor, mind, object, and also how you exist things. How things exist. Then how we, yet Sunday we talk about how we rebirth. How we also achieve all different, functions. Eye consciousness test. How we achieve 5 senses. Which one first, which one led. Then they go to destroy when people die. Which one to go first, the second one, they talk about that. Then they talk about, how things exist outside things. It's like science. How world start. Science is a Big Bang star, right? It's a Big Bang. The first one, Big Bang. Big Bang? Big Bang or Big Bang? Big Bang. Big Bang. Like that, Also there are different ways, the Kalachaka way and also Nzelana. Abhidhamma Konya. There are 2 different ways. Like that. This is all these books, This is like Buddhism science. That's a very, very two big volume, 2 very thick books. Because they have to compose all kanjurs, put together. Okay? Therefore I'm looking for here, then here, 3 commentaries. One now very clear, the another one more clear. You guys, how many commentaries you have? How many? You have 2 books.
2 books and 2 other things and 1 more.
Then Murray had, online, right? Are you still
Oh, I'm
chatting?
I haven't been debating. I've got one for a while.
Where the monk come from? Where do you live?
I have no idea.
On the wall, some place.
Somewhere, I don't know. Probably just online.
Yeah. Right now also, sometimes online is very good, People study a lot. Like Tibetans, right now, the Chinese government, and setting, they call WeChat. WeChat. Yeah, WeChat. Do you know WeChat?
No, I've
Maybe you guys not. The Westerns have, the Viber, WhatsApp.
What's
Yeah, WhatsApp. Like that, Chinese create the WeChat. It's like you can group 500 people, all over the world. You can talk. Now that Tibet is very exciting. So many 500 groups. Then also, sometimes just say, how are you? Why just talking? Some other groups also study. Buddhism, the language, culture. If you can use the websites also, how you say that? Electronically also. Technology, use good way, But Chinese listen everything. Everything, because they, how is that? They control. Sometimes they, like, how you say? March 10th, before March 10th, they just shut down. They're online, they shut down. We don't know where they shut down, Yeah. All shut down. They also, they can shut down every, like Medford. They shut down only Medford. There's some of it they can get. More than they can get. Yeah, in Tibet area, which place to do more? Yeah, more Syria. How is it, more series? Yeah. Yeah, they can shut down. Everywhere. Yeah. This is usually the phone, like we have phone, right? Like we go to the, AT&T. You have the phone on AT&T. You have the money you can get, right? But I don't know how they shut down the online. They shut down. Then things gone, they just open. Then everyone just talk. Well, now they open, Therefore, they listen everywhere. But one way it is very good. Anyone to study Lord. Even we don't see each other, we just talk them now. If you trouble, they already put. There's everything they're looking, Anyway, therefore, even you use the good things, you have a lot of things to do. Then a lot of things also we can go to the Google. Right now, also a lot of Tibetan books also we can find the Google. Whenever we need some books, texts, we just Google. Because whoever put the online, we can get, right? Same thing, English. Very useful. Therefore, Buddha, she's studying on online. Depends someone, right? She's just some different directions. It's okay.
I was focusing on the text.
Anyway, it's good, You can learn something everywhere. Yes.
Are you saying that, I'm not clear what you were trying to say, but it sounds like if somebody who lives in Medford
Yeah.
and is Tibetan and on their cell phone is trying to communicate to someone in Tibet,
Yeah.
it's shut down?
No,
on the cell phone?
I'm not a shut down here, my phone. But the Tibetans have so many different cities, right? Like example, Medford, Somerville, Boston, like that, right? Like there in China government, they can shut down all different cities. In China,
China's
not here.
Chinese government is
But
doing
they're
it.
focusing on Medford?
No.
They're focusing on
Tibetan
where the
population.
where
Yeah,
the Tibetan
yeah,
residents are.
yeah. I'm talking about the Tibetan resident.
Okay.
Not here, China.
It's an example.
Example.
Analogy.
I'm going to example.
So it has nothing to do with okay.
No. Like here the one city, here's one city, but they can shut down here. They don't shut down here. I don't know how they do this. just city, just, like three cities here, right? Here. They can shut down this one. They don't shut down those both.
They have different servers.
Yeah, different servers. Oh, I don't know how to do it.
Oh,
This is like some Tibetan uprising. Uprising here, Florida, yes. Uprising days. Look, that can't they shut down. And sometimes someone protested in Tibetan, that time they can shut down. Anyway, therefore, whatever we talk, they can listen. Whatever we send, they can listen. Then, sometimes people go to get visa in New York. They ask, do you protest? They no, I didn't do that. Then they show pictures. It is you? Yeah. Yeah, there's a short picture. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like that,
I remember when I applied for a visa in '07 to go to India, I was told, don't say that you're going for the sole purpose of volunteering for the Tibetans. Say you're also going for pleasure, not to put it all on the Tibetans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
India?
Yeah,
Wow.
and that was in '07.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, do you remember last week, there was a daughter, she applied the job. They say, she put I volunteer Kurukulla Center when I said Dalai Lama come here. They say, are you volunteer there? This is politics, Okay, tell me the time to Kasandan Mandrogi, Tamu Bushumochi, Tizudo, Shastro. Takazangazu Yelaship Maro. The shit that loves the Kisha Bas. Semba.
And so now we have to, we've sort of gone through all the attention, right? Last time.
The Semba, the same you touching on that, so the negotiation address, like the was.
So like it says here, the attention is one of the main mental factor of all the mental factors.
And the motor when the engine is on
It's like the engine, of the car.
right? It's car, motor and the engine reverse.
Is it the engine that is the main part of the car?
Engine or oil? Engine. Then pass engine is a man, pass no book to engine is the pass and the rebels in Besson. Right party. Marsh of the rebel, Mevana, carry chambers, mobile of Shadro.
So maybe it's like the fuel, not the gas, not the engine.
Power is the source of the power. It's what
So attention would be like the gas, and then after you also when you get to the contact would be like the engine.
Yeah, anyway, whatever you think, after we check a little bit, okay? Tenada and Tenida, Kanso Semjute, Semba de Sheta, Kanji, and the Shiba de Yella, Lord Yella and Juba de, and the Semju, Semba de Check.
And so it is the attention that allows the mind, the mental factor, to engage in its object, right?
And then less than what Semba de.
And so the karma, is also attention. Intention.
And then check on do some backup and Sembiles.
So
English the Shibikala and Sambiles like the was.
and so intention, did I say attention? Intention, yeah. But you knew what. Intention, not attention, intention. So yeah, so it's the intention is the one that makes the mind to engage in its object, and so when you think of like doing something, then that's the intention, right? Something doing. So when you're looking at something, and you say, oh, I want to look at that, you have that thought before you look at it. So that's the intention, and then with that thought, when you look at it, it's the intended. The intention and intended, so that's talking about the two different kind of karma. So one is the mental karma, and other one is the physical karma.
Today, Kanja Kulon the Chewa in Bayana, Ani Lijimako, some Nagamako, Shate, Yonsa Zawati, and Yijimako, some young was.
And so if you think about the motivation that drives you to engage in the action, and then also you can apply that to the 10 non-virtuous actions. So the 7 non-virtuous actions of the body and speech is induced by the 3 non-virtuous actions of the mind.
그러와 먼저 소치바 마지막에 로임자 대 그런 내용으로 봐서 그러면 봐주고 말아 봐서.
So, for example, the act, three act of killings, right? I mean, three act of the body, the killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. And that happens only with the intention, right? If you don't have the motivation, you will not be able to engage in those actions. And similarly, the four of the speech, the lying, slandering, the harsh word, and the idle gossiping also comes with the motivation, right, or intention.
Okay? 어디지? 어디다 두치네. 다 레지. 다들이 레들라야 직다 가서 망보지 랍선 와시.
So then talking about, so these are also karma, right? So we talked about different kind of karmas.
Okay, 다들 좀 먹어. 다들이 가서 오늘 레바텐도 가다 들어와.
And so the next one, is the contact, right?
다 레비 뭐 가시는 거 밖에 들에 레바 가시나. 디니 온본제와 이것도 제바 수비 땡시베 레전도 주소마다로서.
And then regarding the entity of contact, the compendium of knowledge says, well, question, what is the contact? Response, it distinguishes the transformation of the sense power upon the aggregation of the three. It has the function of acting as a support for feeling. What do you understand from this? So the aggregation of the three, what is the aggregation three?
Sense, object, and consciousness.
되거든요. 시선 받더라스. 초회 땡시벨 레전스. 단데 초회 땡, 초와 용사기 땡도 지적을 들어와. 나도 초회 땡시벨 레전스.
So it's like, you see that here. Just as been said above, contact is the knower that upon aggregation of the three, the object, sense power, and the primary consciousness, right? And distinguishes an object in accordance with whatever subsequent feeling, pleasure, and so on, that is to be experienced. And and also it says this is the function. So it has the function of acting as a support for feeling, right?
Excuse me, what page are we on?
Oh, in page 24. Contact.
오케이. 근데 이다 다 그러고 생각하지 그래. 생각이 시바도 열라 요와치기로 열라 treba치기로 와서.
So what does the intention do? The intention makes the mind to engage in the object, right? Move towards the object.
그러와. 다 레벨이 얘는 열라 주바시게 돼서 얘 셔라바는 주바시게 돼서 그러와.
주바치기.
얘 셔라바는 주바시게 돼서. 레파면은 얘단 trepa 미니베 얘 샘는 주바시게 돼서. 얘 셔라바래.
Then also.
지나는 뭐도. 내도 와서. 알래. 내는도 와. 대용도 안에 영원 넘치선데 초와 대두소 용제다 지선데 용서 주비 리첸데 대옹부 용도 제와 주바나 빼나 미시 주여도 고마단 trepa나 초와 때라 첩이 제제데 레페 주용 주여동와 용서 제베 초와 디비 젠제베나 때다 소무스러와.
And so the contact, makes the consciousness come into contact and come into contact, with the object, so when you, have contact, when the eye consciousness has a contact with this object, beautiful, and then from there, then comes the feeling, the good feeling, a pleasant feeling. And when eye consciousness, come into contact with the unpleasant object, then there comes the feeling, unhappy feeling, or unpleasant feelings.
그러와. 아니 셈바세에 되게 이 시바데 코너 열어 봐. 따주고도 와서. 다 레바세기 코너 통호 많이 배 카카가 육중이도 다 데리 걸어가는 대중도 와서. 통호 많이 배요. 그런 게 통호 많이 배요.
So, like it says, it distinguishes the transformation of the sense power upon the aggregation of the three, and so the intention makes the mind move towards the object, and then the contact makes the mind engage in the object in particular way, and so that it brings that kind of feeling depending on what kind of object it come into contact with.
간지 열지 아니 온보지 남시 숨 여와이나야 아니 레파 메와이나 아니 되게 내가 찾은 조도 말했어. 다때 내가 찾은 족 중에 니반도 어때 레파를 요랬어.
And so even if there is the object, the sense power, and the primary consciousness, but without a contact, it will not be able to, the function complete. It will not be able to complete the function of experiencing that, and so the contact makes it, to complete the function.
How go there?
Understand?
Do you understand? Does that make sense? Pena chance to do shirada. 다지 라와 있는 것도 소원형보다 너 지직다도 안 소화가 더 모양도 왔어. 지금 레전드나. 다지 라와도 판님이 지나 봐이나 그 소화가 용도 왔어. 대소나 가지고.
So you have to in order to feel, you have to touch it properly, like maybe rub it certain times, like touch many times, to really get the feeling. Like so, just by touching it once, maybe you don't get that much feeling, but then you keep rub it against the object or surface of the object a couple of times, and then you get the feeling.
Right? 칼로로 사는 것도 다이 칼 샤도면 찔레가 지금 야와나 코코는 미세 도모마 용도 왔어.
So just like that, also the taste, if you just leave, place it on the tongue, it doesn't feel that much. Then when you chew and then play around with the tongue, then you get more feeling of the food.
네도 대라 온보용 온분 제와시도 만나스. 그러와 이 용수 집이 시고다. 이 용수 집에서는 간지 코랑이 투모 마인베 이해들은 주백이 니바데 레박체 요래서.
So what makes the consciousness to engage in the object in a uncommon way is the contact. It's the contact that makes it do that.
Okay? 그냥 가로서 딘리가 초와 댄시 초와 댄서다 레발 댄이 그래서 초와 댄서다 레발 댄이 그래서.
And so that kind of feeling it depends on the contact. So from the contact comes the feeling.
그러와 딘리가 그래서 다 레바티 예라 초와데 아니 대라 댄이 아니지 이 소소소 도모마 소래가 가르치 않는 배는 레가노는 고자의 장에도 바지 레바티 들어왔어. 내가 고자 장에 소로 들어와.
So it is the contact that kind of divides the work of the mind.
Risa, do you guys understand the different meanings? Sembaseti yel 반죽다 쪼징 되지. 자상 반죽 중에 되지. 다 레바세티 너무 많이 봐. 소소소 반죽 중에 들어와.
So the intention makes the mind to engage in general, on the object in general, and then the contact makes the mind to engage in the object in particular ways.
Okay.
Particular ways, so in general way and in particular ways.
그래서 다 대라 안에 다 미신에 리식 봐. 아니 나 조에서 집어쳐 버려 봐. 심박한 거 집어래서.
And then it says likewise contact by distinguishing then attractive form transforms into the cause of pleasant feelings, right? So when the contact is differentiated in terms of its support, there are 6. And so these are the ones.
Okay. 아니 대지 다 듣는 것도 연락해 버리고 대오도 연락해 봐. 대스면 말했어.
And then after that, is the attention. So that one is very little also.
대로는 가서 만드시 제기다 들어와. 다 연락해 다 저도 선발하고 고송 왔는데 선발하고 고송 왔어.
So you understand
레바세.
Contact now? You understand contact?
레바면 가리오래. 그만 몸에 열은 죽어요. 말했어 봐.
So what happens if you don't have contact? You will not be able to engage, in the object in particular way.
가서 가리고 얼마 가리고 얼마 주는 거. 다 먹어도 가리고. 소화면은 가리오래.
What happens if you don't have, the first one is the feeling, right, of the omnipresent, 5 omnipresent mental factors. What happens if you don't have feeling?
Forgot.
Yeah.
Forgot.
You're not experiencing the object. It is pleasant.
소화면은 가리고 너무 집어쳐도 단데 집어래서. 쌤들.
So if you don't have feeling, you're like cooking.
That's so much.
So yeah, so if you don't have feeling, you don't have the experience, right? Like I said. And what happens if you don't have, discrimination?
It's not this
You
or
don't know
that.
what it
You-
is.
그래 저거 세바면은 아니 예코로 셀파진 주마요.
So what happens if you don't have intention?
It's never gonna.
You
no, no.
can start.
You're not going to start.
다 내가면 이 가가가 유도 말이에요.
What happens if you don't have contact?
대신에 가가 유도 대신에 대에서 대야 레파가 대표 적이었어. 아니 저와 대화 동안 대야 레파가 대표 적이었어.
So the discrimination says this is that and so forth, right? So that's also supported by contact. And the feeling, says, oh, I experienced this feeling or I experienced that feeling, that's also supported by contact.
어디라도 레페면은 초와다 대시다 셈바다자 문제야 코너는 제때 소외 가로 템보메 싫었어 간지 차선 마트 스면도 고래도 왔어 내가 나는 드릭 근처에 다 간주는 되셔 그랬어 단단 건 니나 요 말했어 니나 안 들어서 와 레파메 와이나 초와용 거 말은 대시용 거 말은 셈바용 거 말했어 셈바도 용 말했어 매바 코너는 제때 템메 싫었어 와 코너 땡사도 요 말했어
So yeah, so this is one of the most important mental factor because without this, you'll not be able to have feeling, you'll not be able to have discrimination, you'll not have intention also. So therefore, like they said, this is one of the main part of the mind, mental factor.
Did you say you won't be able to have intention
Yes,
without
yeah.
contact?
Yeah.
레바면은 셈바용 말했어 대시용 말했어 아니
Yeah, no intention, no discrimination, no feeling.
그리고
I don't understand.
Greasy contact.
셈바 내가 현재 아니 니시 해고 그러는 거로
셈바 가르치면 그랬어. 레고면은 셈바 명을 가르치랬어.
된다 딱 셈바고 댄사게 댄라디 레퍼레스 또 댄사라디 맞아 댄사라 이거 그러지 그 댄사 그런 메서다니 딱 고땡이 그런 메로 그러고
가르치 된 거랬어.
딱 간까지 맞아로 딱 다른 것도 실례 봐 뭐라로 해나 인증도
되더라. 이는 번에 내가 땅을 뜨는 것도 빼셔야더라. 다 돈을 가냈어. 그래가지고 저그 거서 레고면은 그 소리 두고 말아. 소라 요 말아. 소와라 된 거라 보고 와라. 안티나시 때는 셈바 요라 때는 레고가 가냈어.
된지가 레퍼세 간지 근데 코로나 시당 노동시에 뭐 코로나 남주고 발음도 어떻게 해서 발음이 어떤 것이 간지 레퍼세 된지기 카카가 진행 매와 있나 아니 셈바 코로나 용식 말했어 다 코니트 지 반도지 되었어
레고도 가가 지고 말아. 그 레고서
레버다 셔라바
요 제라바도 태워 지고.
셔라바 저거 저거 얘나 가지 레버다 매와 얘나 아니 이런 중에 셈바소도 간지 용사요 말했다 그 코로나까지 코로나 아마존으로 그랬어 빠지 들으려고 해서
셈바 용어는 소리.
셈바 용어라 아니 코로나 때 아니 용국에서 까지 다 그런 건데 잘라 있어 모터서 와라 모터 수작 잘라도 거기로 와
되더라. 이나 땅은 전에 셈바세를 레고바도 셈바세.
셈바다 소 레바세도 간지 시바강가 댄사네 되지 모터라 댄사 디나 송도 와서 레바면은 초와단 대시다 셈바다자 사자 문주와 코너는 제대 때문에 비셔스 고도 땡요 말스 고도 땡다 되레스
Yeah, so it's just trying to understand why it says in the text like that. In the text, so where like mentioned about the science, the Buddhist science compendium, like this they extracted all the essence from the translated commentaries and translated teachings of the Buddha. So they just extracted from those and then put together. So in that text it says that without the contact, you will not have a feeling, you will not have discrimination, you will not have intention either, because they are all based on contact. So if there's the basis is not there, then what is based on that will not be there. Without the basis, what is based on that will not be there. So because all these minds are based on the contact, therefore without contact, they will not be able to be there. So that's what it explains that. So that now is our discussion, and of course we have to think why, right? So if you don't have contact, if you cannot touch the object, you will not be able to feel it, right? So that would make sense. But without a contact, why can't we have intention?
Because contact is just the
the sense consciousness, you need the mental, you have to induce the mental consciousness for the intention. You have to, like, the intention, so you make contact and you generate the awareness of the object, but then the intention, I don't know.
So you engage the object before.
Yeah.
If you won't have, if the object is not there, there will not be nothing to draw you towards the object.
Right.
So you have to have contact with the object. It has to be before your intention can then draw you towards it. Because otherwise, what are your intention going to draw you towards? Like wherever, because it's not object to be. So the object needs to be. You have to know the object before you can really have the intention.
Makes sense?
I see it totally opposite. I don't know why, because the way I see it, and I think I can give an example, but please correct me if I'm wrong. It seems to me that the intention should be not dependent on contact at all, because one could think that, I have an intention to see something, like in a black room, I have an intention to see that cup, but I can't see it because, whatever, and there's no contact because it's dark. But I still have the intention to see it. It's not manifesting, it's not complete, the whole, because, the whole action of being able to, feel and, actualize that, that progression, but intention, I think, comes first. It seems to me, because this is where karma starts with intention, it doesn't start with contact. So I don't see why intention would be dependent on contact. Seems like it should be the opposite. But this is my mind, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
If intention were to come after contact, then we're engaging the object before we even intend on doing it.
Intention depends on, it's a result of feeling. After feeling, we then develop an intention. So, but then the feeling comes from contact with something. So if there's no contact, there's no feeling. There's no feeling, there's no intention.
So as a result, then all intentions.
Now you all different, right? That's all different talk. It's good. We have different way of motivating. You all same direction, then just stay there.
So then all intention must be accidental then, because we have to randomly engage an object before we can even contact it, before we can have a feeling or an intention.
Good. That the same not to was. And I somebody should not chip out of it. Yellow Shabbat, same Tuman, devastated. This is was. They would come and they said, no, I can't do what.
So anyway, so in the attention, it talks about here, then attention. What is attention? It is an engagement of the mind. It has the function of holding the mind to the object of observation. And so just, this is attention, right? Just as it has been said above, it is a knower that focuses the mind, which is committed with it on a particular object of observation. What is the difference between intention and attention? Intention moves the mind to the general objects, whereas attention directs the mind to a particular object. So that's the difference with those. Anyway, and then after that, there's a discussion of the category of the omnipresent manufacturer. So here it talks about the different functions of each of these mind, right?
다 일하시보다 레반이 직바로 차고도 배셔놨거든. 가가 가는데.
So attention and intention, they're very similar, right? So it's very similar. So they both, it makes the mind move towards the object. So one, towards the general object, and one towards the particular object.
Right? Okay.
I'm just like sort of going back where we talked about which came first. I've been trying to figure out the sequence of these 5 omnipresent malefactors, and I can't really figure them out. I think that the way they list them is not necessarily the right sequence.
No, this is not
What
it.
is the sequence then?
당 이거 나가서 성질에 당을 빼셨다고 해나 신발 여기서도 당 내리나 고르나 레파사디 니바 치슈도 동도.
So from what I understand here, it looks like the contact has the most power.
당이 빼셨다 이건 삼당 빼셨다고 해나.
Just looking at the scripture, at the text,
그래. 다 레파티 가서나 안에 지 가서 그냥 파는 거다. 그냥 추는 거다 생각하시.
So the context is like saying, oh, you're going here, you're going there.
좋아. 안에 대이런 말라 셈바세디 다 셈바도 고요 같이 레바님도 요요 가는 것이라. 근데 차상을 다 내가 차상 땅에서 놓으시.
The intention is there all the time, with the contact, and it's like watching over all the functions.
그리고 다 되니 셈바 니 레바 그냥 파는 소리만 아니 내시가 나 파는 나 추는 안 데려서 고고고 가서. 아니 난다 가서 소역이 안돼 이야본도 내 야본도 아 레바기 그냥 파는 거다 그냥 추는 거라서
So the context says you're going here, you're going there.
좋아. 아니 다 되면 내시 같은 알에다는 안 데려셔서 그런 데서만 안 데려 추성으로.
And the discrimination says, oh, I am this and I am that, hold this one here and hold this one here.
아니 소력이 안 되길래 그래서 단내 소화 대화는 거도 내가 누가냐 내가 소화게만 도.
And then the feeling says, oh, this is my job and I feel pleasant and I feel unpleasant and I feel nothing here.
근데 예를 세바사 되게 소소도 도모모 예를 들어 땜보시네. 소화 대화는 소화 대화 코너 이 그로 도모모 예라 땜발라 도나 도모 소소도 땜보 쓰는 거 어디지 그거.
And then the attention, is holding it, firm.
나 나도 잘라도 찾아지 않았다 수고지 않은 건 내려지 않아 내려서도 예라시 받아.
And so like when you put things together and then screw them and make it tight, that's like the attention.
그거. 나 단들라서 레페기 나 내내저 과카가 자서 뭐.
So the contact, make it different, right? So this is this, this is that.
그거. 아니 가서나 셈바생이다 도서 차상 소소 노약 니빠용도 고쳐 그러고 예실에 영화생도.
So the intention, is the one that makes the mind to move towards all the things in general.
근데 다 레페기 짜라가 소소 강샤서 뭐.
So the contact left all the things on its own places, right?
단 대신 소소 어떤 댕게들이 소소 나보지 없어.
So the discrimination says, oh, this is mine, and so it owned the things.
근데 소액이 다 양도 왔어. 네, 소안 되는데 분들이
And then the feeling and experiences is this is pleasant, this is unpleasant.
단 예를 세바세 때 스크루스노.
The attention, is like the screw, that makes it firm.
뭐 이거 같은 this 배전은 내 임배스로 멤버스로 랍셔서 하고 오면 되네. 근데 지난 가서 세바세 ങ്ങനെ 요거는 또 왔어. 배전은 될 한번 됐어.
So, in the text, it doesn't say clearly, it's sort of here, sort of there. So, according to the text, the sequence, sequentially, it should be the first one to come.
Right? 이나야 대선나다 시당 셈바세 요요하지 그 문내로 다 레파세티 차상지 템보 섬게로 단단하도 못하게나 인지가 손으로 고잉 손으로 왔어.
So the intention is always there. Is the contact, is the one that makes it firm. It's like the engine of the car.
What do you guys think? Okay?
Can you create contact after intention? So you're saying like when you come in contact with, let's say, something that has spikes or something, and then you have the feeling of being hurt, and then your intention is to not touch that anymore after. Mm-hmm. So you create then you can say that intention was created after contact. But then if you say, you know, if you imagine, I want to make dinner tonight, so that's your intention, and then you go home and then you make contact with whatever it is you're doing, then it almost seems like they can be swapped out. Yeah.
And that Shendadi, Tringonda, Tringonda, Kalaso, Tambu Sembake, and Jela Dene Kalaga, Jujada Te, and Tene Dene Kalaso. So then it isn't the same than Molale, and then drag by the jelly like this.
Somebody called Jalola Par, Rick at the chorus. She don't call Rag Niba in the one. Rag Niba in the one, Rag Rendo Samba Niba. They should not send a corner. They didn't get Jala Ragun, Meragun, Repaction was. Semba said, she done pa reaching it, carrying and Jamu Tabakan and Rag Niba to it. They think it, Sembachi. Ta Jamu Regun, Tabu, Solar Regus, Kaka Regu, that they Repaction was.
And so the intention is there all the time. Intention is there all the time. It's like when you say, you know, when you come into contact with something, right? Oh, this is you know, the hot, this is cold. So when you want to come into contact with the cold or cold and the hot, whatever is in general, you know, the intention is there, you know, to come into contact. And then you say, oh, okay, I want to come into contact with the cold. I want to come into contact with hot. You know, so when you go to the particular object, then that's the contact. So the intention is there, saying that I want to come into contact with something. You know, but then when you come into when you say I want to come into contact with cold or particular thing like cold or hot, then that is the contact. And then when you come into contact, you know, and when you come into contact and then you feel hot, it's oh, this is hot, and that's the discrimination. And then you feel the hot, right? You say, oh, this is hot, you know, you discriminate, like so you discriminate from hot and cold, and it says this is hot. So that's the discrimination. And then after that, you feel hot, right? That's the feeling.
What if it's accidental?
So yeah, it feels like it's not really necessary to have intention in everything that we do. Like intention is okay, I'm going to do this, and then you have to think that first. You know, things can happen. Right? Just when you're walking, you just trip on a wire. And I mean, you didn't have intention to trip, you know, but you do. It happened to you, right? Or you just walking and your arm knocks on the wall, you know. So you didn't have intention. That's accidental. So those kind of things. But there's a mind. So there's a mind, you know, with that intention or mind with that all the time. And when you experience that, it's oh, that's, you know. Then you get the feeling. It says oh, that was painful, like that, you know. And that's the feeling like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I have to say I'm not convinced. Let's say it's an accident, and I'm walking by a wall, and a brick is loose, hits me on the head. You would think, on the surface of it, that it's the contact first, and then the whole chain of events. But I would argue that I think that before that even happens, you always have the intention of not to suffer. and be happy or whatever. That always exists even before that event happens. So it seems to me that that's correct. I'm not a good debater, but it seems to me.
No, it sounds like a very good debater.
That's the first that even when even if it is an accident, your mind, you still have that. You don't want to suffer. Every living thing has that. It seems like that's the first. So I would argue intention.
So that's the intention, right?
Intention is first.
Intention, or
intention, not attention, not the focus. Intention. I don't want to suffer.
That's what.
Don't hurt me.
맞아, 세마. 나 정말 눈도 세마잖아.
디셈버도 말해. 내가 다들 그랬으면 대마다스. 디셈버도 말했어. 네파 이여도 이절 반 주쪽에 니바리도 되게 라고 왔어. 나 가기도 디셈버도 말했어. 저 디셈버도 말했어.
So it's not talking about that mind and thinking that, oh, I want this, I don't want that. Not that kind of intention, not that kind of mind. Not that kind of mind thinking that I don't want to suffer. So that it's not talking about that kind of intention. It's he's talking about the intention. That's like a power that forces the mind to engage in its object.
But yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Jennifer.
So the reason that contact is first, because contact conditions the feeling, and then the intention, if we say the intention is like karma, then it's like we were talking about, you can have the feeling, you say it's a pleasant feeling, but then the intention will determine whether you become attached to it, right? And then, so that's why it comes after, right? So contact first, which conditions the feeling, and then from there, it's the intention, the karma, whether if you have that feeling, whether it's good or bad, whether you become it creates attachment or aversion or ignorance, right?
No way. No way, because if intention is the prime mover, it moves the mind to the object.
But contact's the engine.
What causes contact? What brings someone to contact?
Well,
Is it always accidental?
so
Good, okay.
The contact doesn't create karma, it's the intention that does
the
it.
intention does, right, from the feeling. And that's where the opportunity exists to, if you have the feeling, to not become attached or not. So contact could be as simple as just, I see the cushion, and then I guess I don't, it seems, when we say intention, it's like you're saying it's not like, oh, I want to do this. It's more related to
The force, the mind, the force behind the mind that makes propels the mind to engage in object,
An object.
I just have another question. Is I'm listening to all this, I'm trying to reconcile an object and an awareness of it with the consciousness only school. So how would they interpret these phenomena and objects? Is the mind reflecting under their system? Is the mind reflecting on a projection of itself? What is it reflecting on?
sense of illusion, so you mean like mind only school?
대체로 생존은 그 되게 꼭 정확히 배운 말. 생존적으로 지나 전담하는 데서 가야 맞고 되는 거 배운 말. 생존주는 비슷합니다. 들어봤어요. 되게 정확히 그 내가 배운 벌써.
So it doesn't make difference in here. In this case, it doesn't make difference. The mind only school will be saying the same thing. It just says that everything, not only that, not only the thoughts. Now here we're just talking about the thoughts, right? Mind. Even the object, so this is, created by mind. That's what the mind, the mind only school says. It's all in the nature of mind. Everything, even the solid objects are in the nature of mind.
그래서 지나서 배는 말다가 소소 통만데 따자가 따기 싫어서 열쇠라 그랬어. 쌤도미.
And so
저는 도와대 메리간 도와대 내랑 동고 말들라 그랬어.
So when we all look at Geshe-la, what do we all see? Geshe-la, right? So what I see Geshe-la is not the Geshe-la that you see. So I have my own Geshe-la, you have your own Geshe-la. And the same thing, so the temples that hold you, the gompa that you're in, are we all in one gompa? No. The gompa that I'm in is not where the gompa that you're in. So my gompa is created by my mind, and your gompa is created by your mind. Right? So your gompa cannot be created by my mind. So the gompa that you are in is not the gompa that I'm in.
It still has to have a base, or else I think I was at McDonald's.
Not really gompa, but the gompa created by your own mind.
Anyway, this is the sentiment of the rest. Okay. Now,
So that's the mind-only school. So you want to get more confused?
Okay, what's your...
I just found something in the text that I guess may contradict what you had said earlier. It says, when it talks about intention, it says, this is said to be the principle among all mental factors. It is taught that any mind or mental factor engages in an object due to the power of this mental factor.
Yes.
So that intention drives...
It's the primary mind, yes.
Yeah, it drives everything.
Would it be fair to say that contact meets the object, contact meets the object, and intention engages with the object?
다 호랑스 나더리 나도 쌤 나더리 나도 쌤하고 시도를 쌤하고 쏘디 쌤들 되는 쌤좀 참아 나서 쌤하고 쏘드레스 유로지고 중에 쏘인서 대거 참나는 가서 쏘드레스 랍도스
곧 내가 제주를 납도.
네.
제주를 납도 왔어.
내나도 쌤저 탐지게 나네 디또 쳐워 손데 쌤저 가양 유로지고 제발라 유로지고 제발 쌤좀 디 투임벌 송소
됐다 따르신. 내 나도 다 걔네 거지. 얘나야 당도 깨당으로 채워나 아니 니는 다 레바데 당보 쪽에서는 쉬긴도스러워.
So yeah, you're right. What it said about here, we all agree that. But when we generate first, what comes first is the contact. Then from the contact, then comes the intention. So, but that's not what I'm saying, but that's what it said in the text, right? And not the text that we're studying now, but the different text, like I said, the one that compendium of other, the text. So in that, it says that. It says like contact comes first. Of course, so that's what the text says. But of course, we all have the doubt about that, and that's why we're debating here.
Even in the Bardo state?
Even in the Pardo states. Pardola te reves. Pardola ta reves.
근데 이제 대치 봐야 돼. 그 받으면 가지 내는 그 가지고 가지. 나 레바데까지 구두 차선 떼산으로 그래서 가지. 얘는 중무주 땅에대 조디 니바데 얘는 중무주 니바 땅에대 조 sembar이 그래서. 두 사람은 그래도 얘는 중무주 땅에 니바 차선 조 sembar이 그래서.
얘는 중무주?
야. 셈데. 또 시바데 얘는 중무주 중중에 니바 차선 sembar이 그래서. 그리고 다 셈바다 레바 차선 오나 고두 차선 떼서 쏠 때는 고두 차선 떼서 레발 때도나 군 니바 가가 차서 와 때릴라나 그래서
셈 가서
가는 거
지단디 가서 셈바들라
셈바데 시바데 열은 juk 주야게 딱 잡는 거 붙여 당기는 니바 차선 셈바를 요래서.
So let's say the mind and the intention. So in the pardo will be same also. But again, of course, you can debate on that because Pardo don't have contact. You might want to say that. But anyway, so first, when we say intention, so that is the most powerful mind because, in a sense, it has the power, to make the mind engage in its object. Right? So it's the mind, it's the intention that pushes, the mind, to go towards the object.
근데 나도 콜로도 왔어. 콜로도 니바찬 소리였나?
So like the car wheel turns, right? What makes the car wheel turn? The bearings in the middle?
No.
Without that, you'll not be able to turn the wheels, right?
They help the wheel be able to turn. They don't cause it to turn.
Yeah, it helps, right? So.
ina 대고나 대사서였다. 고나 대사지. 고나 속대사지 요라 그게 주대사지.
그래.
근데 레바 티송으로 온 거서. 니들라다 안에 때 관계 때려도.
So that is the other thing, right? That makes the car, but the wheel itself is based on what? The bearings or the main part, the part the wheel is on. What do you call that? The disc, axle, right?
So you're saying the wheel and then the axle.
And the axle, right? So axle, right?
Yeah.
So axle is like the contact, So, but it is the gas or the engine that makes everything move, right? So that would be like the intention.
That's the driver. The driver is the intention.
Driver is intention.
Well, I agree with that, because, if there's no gas or whatever, that's like an obstruction, that's like black hole, you can't see it. But the driver's still there. He can be frustrated, he can, he may want to do something, but he can't. The wheels are gone, the axle's broken, somebody painted over the windshield.
No, just with the driver, the car will still move.
What? No,
it can't. Exactly, so you need a contact.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm unconvinced.
Remember when we were talking about feeling, we said that what you didn't want your feeling to become, like if you had a suffering feeling, you didn't want it to become aversion. And if you had a happy feeling, you didn't want it to become attachment. So what is it that stops that? Intention. It's the mental karma, right? So if you have the experience of a happy feeling, there has to be something in between. You have to have some. I mean, that's our purpose, is not to become attached to the happy feeling, or not to feel aversion to the suffering. Isn't that where the intention comes in? And so then the contact that meets the object, the feeling that comes from meeting the object, and then the intention is the engagement with that object, whether we become attached or...
생각해야 되잖아요. 그러니까 저는 배랑 아주 담보들 소화하는 저는 신의 생각이 뭐랬어. 왜냐면 소화하기는 내가 정말은 다들 차발을 맞아요. 파사발 맞을 맞아다. 소화 동화 정말은 되게 샤다나 하려 좀 맞아야 돼. 단 되게 좀 맞아 가르쳐서는데 생각이 뭐랬어. 생각해 와나 근데 줄고 말았어. 대체 생각 잘 못도 왔어.
뭐 대중에 느시래. 소화 대도 딱 가지 잡아가는 주 맞으면 느시게 순적으로 봤어. 나대 잡아지는 거 말했으면 틀렸는데 느시게 지금. 생각 곧
So that, Geshe said that will be discrimination. Says, okay, this is attachment. I should not get attachment, you know. So,
this section on feeling, it ends with saying, one should learn from the stages of the path to enlightenment how not to let the three pleasant, suffering, and neutral feelings become causes of the three poisons, attachment, aversion, and ignorance.
yeah.
So you're saying that the discrimination is where you have to stop that.
That's right, yeah. So he says, oh, this is attachment, and I should not be attached to it, you know. I should not have that, so that's discrimination. Oh, this is hostility or anger. I should not have this, and I should not have that kind of, you know, the emotions like that. So when you think like that, that's a discrimination.
Okay, Bob, you have any different?
No.
We need to build debate.
So I like the one that Mary said at the beginning, about the contact.
Second.
Well, you have to make contact with the object, otherwise there's nothing to start it with. Because nothing draws me to the object. It's, in this Buddhist psychology, it says, contact is the first occurrence in the mental process. It's the simple act of the mind meeting with the object. So how can intention kick in if there's no meeting with the object? It's not as if I'm thinking, oh, I want to see a car, and I go around looking for the car.
I agree with that.
And then there are 3 cars, and my intention, karmically, I'm pulled to red. And so now my intention draws me to the red one.
It just seems to me that before all that happens, there's an ambient intention, I don't want to suffer. There's that,
That's
in the
motivation.
background.
That you have to be careful with intention and motivation, and that's where I have to go to, because my
So motivation and intention is different?
different.
Am I?
You could buy clone like those. That was similar to clone to the remark. Could you clone Maris? Yeah, I think you're going to big mistake.
You're talking about motivation.
Yeah, it's not motivation. But the Nandu Shiba de Bena Yellen Jubin, Lojo Che near Nipaji was. Tell us similar to us.
So the power, the force, you know, in that we have in our mind, you know, to engage in an object, is the intention. Oh, I want to go, you know, I want to walk, you know. So that is motivation. That's different.
So motivation and intention are different.
Different in this case, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Samba, you're upon Juju,
So mind, making the mind to engage in object. So in object in general, like object in general. So that's the intention.
Thank you.
I want to do this, So it says, I want to do this. That mind, you have that mind, right? So even allowing you to have that thought, thinking, I want to do this, is the intention. Behind that, there's the intention behind that makes you to think like that. I want to do that. So it's like the power behind the mind, that makes the mind to think, oh, I want to do that. What's the power of
fire?
Fire. Power.
Power of it burning hot.
Burning hot?
Hot, that's all.
Right.
근데 매코는 매 파워는 대 가로.
Then make do it.
다 매도 다 가서. 간제 예간에 될 온시 예시 가면 kan 시바 차상 봐 세면 야판 육중에 나오다. 되는 줄 알고 왔어.
So, so the power of the, like if you say power of the fire is hot, the hot comes from the fire, right? Hot comes from the fire, so the hot will be like the result of the fire.
Yeah.
So what is the power of the fire?
Oxygen and...
Oxygen.
No, if you say that which makes the things burn.
Yeah, well, if there's no oxygen and wood, there's no fire.
It's energy?
Like energy. Yeah.
Energy.
I think like energy.
What is
The energy to burn.
It's consumption by power.
When you say what is the power of something, is
Something
you
being
feel it.
consumption.
That's how I.
오케이. 당연히 매기도 자 가는 거. 자 니네 품 줘야 니 받아. 데려오는 거.
So the magnet, the magnet has the power to pull the iron object.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever metal object is, it has power. So it's like that.
근데 너도 그런 매긴데 니 받아 말아 왔어. 너도 니 받아 말아 왔어.
So the magnet itself is not the power, right? It's the power to pull it.
퀄리티 파워도 이거 왔어. 데려오시.
It's a motive force.
Motive force.
Yeah.
근데 이거 다 들리지. 근데 다 경험됐다고 경험됐다고서는 다 내 방식으로 왔어. 가가 동만. 이 시절에 지금 이 시당 이 시절에 지금 생각이 다 예체라 봐봐요 지금데 아니 해봐. 근데 얘도 담보 중인데 아니 얘라셔 봐. 아니 가시는데 이듯이 좋아되는 거
일러 잡아도 되긴 잡아도 그래요.
집어넣어야 돼.
일러 잡아도 일단 담보로 가서 말은 담보 말이야. 담보 뒤지나 일러 잡아도 되기 내가 가서 율 통만 말이야. 율 제가 봐.
이시로 봤어.
아니 가서 세바 되기 율 찔러 줘 봐.
찔러 줘 봤어. 되면서 만만히 듣더라. 레바다 이래서 빨리 나오고.
레바 됐으면 돼요.
레벨이 요 너무 많이 발라. 주바시가 살아.
레바기. 딜라면 데 캔도도 저런 딜라.
예시라봐.
레바 간잖아. 숨드네 옹보 주와 용수 줘봤대. 소외된 점을 내줘. 그러니까 봤다. 용원 남자 숨드네 소와 대화 속 강 연주로다 제수 틈비 율 용수 줘베 레바시고.
대다든 니나라 연락해 받아도 건데가 잘 왔어. 영원 남시던데 예 셔라바랑 그 터모면 예 셔봐.
드디가래. 일러 잡아래.
네.
레바.
대다 집어온 것도 왔다. 터모 많이 받대 그런 예 셔봐 그랬어. 레바세티.
안에서 갔다 영원 지질러다.
영원 남시던 니네 예 셔라바랑 그 터모면 예 셔봐.
그래도
뜻집어야 돼.
요 터모 많이 봐. 레바 잡아.
예 터모 많이 받대 그런 게 예 셔봐.
일러 잡아.
그런 게 예 봐.
율 잡아. 아 네.
다 레바진데
더 내가 숨을 때냈어.
예바 집어쳐고도 일을
더 내가 숨을 때냈어.
다때 영원 없이서 되로.
그래요. 나 지금보다 나 여기 가가다.
이게 되지. 그런 거 공부지.
내가 셈발을 떼고 말아.
네.
원함 시스템 거래.
대도 자는 거. 예서 나다 거 예 그런 비 따서 이거 그래 봐. 공부고 대 자는 거. 대 그거 좀 봐야지.
셈발을 떼고 거래.
자는 거. 근데 맞나 얘도 돈 말아요. 다 네서 네가 다 되니까 나 다 니는 빼잖아 저는 니나도 간다. 일하시 받기 땜보다 그래. 강보로 운동해. 파 얘도 파 니가 샤서도 말 파 동네도 어디 일하시 버렸어. repagi kondi kana shawachi. Ta yela shibati pa damge na hote. Damge na hote. Dino alam dos.
So according to this text, Geshe said, in the intention, is the mind that makes the object, and makes the mind, is a mental fact that makes the mind, object, and mind engage in general object, right? And the attention, the contact, is the mind that is a mental fact that makes the mind to engage in particular object. That's what I was saying. But the attention, I'm not going to say. I was saying the same thing. So that's then the attention is the one that makes it firm.
So
according to the text. So like his hand is stretching towards the cookie, that's the intention. So general, right? In general. Sending the hand towards the object in general, is the intention. And so among those, three objects, particularly to the cookie, is the contact. So that, that one holds, that catches it, and mind going towards the object, and then is that particular object is the contact, and then holding the object, is the attention. And thinking that, oh, this is a cookie is the discrimination. And thinking that, oh, this is good, it will have good feeling, and if I eat it, is the feeling.
But wasn't the first contact the eye contact? You saw it first.
Yeah, so the hand is the example. Yeah. Of course, it's the eye. It's the eye that sees it, yeah. So according to what she just illustrated, it should be the intention that come first, right? It should be the intention that has to come first. But then according to the text, it says, the one that you also read, right? And it says the contact in that. That's the consciousness, okay? The one going in general, is the intention. So that one that comes towards the particular object is the contact.
This is my consciousness, okay?
This is a cookie, so it's holding it and then saying this is cookie, is the attention. Like what? The illegible too. So you understand, right? So first, the hand going towards, like says, the hand is the high consciousness, right? Whatever kind of consciousness is, that is the intention, right? And then going towards the particular object, is the contact. And then grabbing that object, is attention. And saying, oh, this is this object. In this case, like I said, this is a cookie, it's the discrimination.
Unless this contact with the cookie, why would you answer that? There has to be...
the hand there goes in the cookie up
there? No.
Yeah, so first you see the cookie.
Yeah,
so first you see the object, right? Objects. First you see the object, that's a contact. Yeah. And then from there, then you say, oh, okay, I'm going to go towards there.
But then that's the intention.
Yeah, that's the intention.
Wow. Because it's here it also says, contact is simply connecting with the object. Right, just means it's just making that connection, and then everything else can happen. And
so
then it...
뭐하더라도 렉바스면은 내가 렉바스 생각할 때 인지민지 때 가서 투고서로 어제 드레스 렉바스가 말이야.
대서에서 말 대서에서 말.
렉바스는 다 지금 그 요 채바
채발 파 그러고 토모만 채발 송해로 왔대.
그래.
시다 얘는 채발 송해대 선바치. 토모만 채발 송해대 렉바치. 대 담도 등에대 얘라 셔봐. 대성 채워로 왔대.
Contact is dependent on movement.
No, because why would you move if it's not there? It could be any sense contact too, right? Like just like sound to your ear or form to your eye.
Okay. Yes.
But don't you have to have, using your example there, don't you have to have the intention to look down at it first?
No.
Even to make contact with it. So there's things behind me right now that I'm fairly confident of. All right? I can't have contact with them until I have the intention to turn around and engage them.
No, but that's motivation.
But no, if I intend to, say, okay, there's a picture, all right, the object is still there. So, but there's no intention for, I think the intention has to lead to the contact.
I would agree, but I'd say if contact is first, everything's completely arbitrary. Everything we see, our eyes land on it was not determined by what we want to look at, it's determined by accident, our eyes come upon an object. But if it has to be, mind has to be first. Say you're walking down a street, a busy street with all sorts of sounds and smells and tastes. I mean, how is it that we go to a certain object?
Feeling.
What?
대세에서 나도 특별한 데가 우리는 생각은 게 좋은 용어도 왔어. 옛날 레발 관계 때는 맛이 지원해서 말이야. 담보 레발은 생각해서 말이야.
So in that case, it particularly says, it clearly says the first is the contact, right? Yeah. So Geshe is saying that maybe it's not really talking about the sequence here. It's just saying that the contact is the basis of all.
근데 쪽선에 가와되는 쪽선에다 풀을 때다 그러고 대소로.
So like the floor, is where we're all standing. The table, the cushion, the people, the pillow, everything is depending on the floor, right? So floor is like the contact.
But is it like in the 12 links when you, in 12 links you have contact that leads to feeling, that leads to, could that suggest that there's a sequence? That
내가 준비하는 저어제 레버리가 레버리가 때는 저어야 뭐라. 그래서 찍어야겠어.
모든 대면도 다 하나씩 손을 쓰고 레발은 저발은 세발은 고아지겠어.
그리고 somebody 보내라.
Somebody can do that.
So if you talk about that, then the consciousness is already before that, right?
근데 가능한 게 이거 그래서 빼잖아 때려야 돼. 나를 깨져 이상 말이야. 꼭 때려야 돼. 나를 깨져 고여서 말이야.
So it doesn't maybe talk about the sequential, rather talking about it's just it's just saying that it is depending on that.
바닥이 저거 나도 님 라바 받는 싫어. 내 라바 받는 거. 다 중요한데 코마 받아 그거 다 중요한데 이게 이거 대신 말이야.
So like I said, the hand is stretching out, right? Stretching out. So there's one that makes you to stretch out, right? Like the hand or the consciousness to look at it. So what makes you to look at that is the intention, the mind. The mind, right? That's mind. The intention that makes you to look around.
Intention to look.
Yeah, intention.
Okay, so more complicated, but 나도 도발 사주에 전화도 레파스한테 생각 내가 이거 좀 맞았어. 레파스한테 시바가 떼사로 남이서로 컴바서로.
So if you look in that way, they have a problem in the saying that contact cannot come before intention. Right? There's no intention, and then you can come into contact. Right? You can come into contact accidentally. Come into contact. You don't have intention for that. Right? So that contact can happen before. So, but every intention is not necessarily preceded by contact, right? Not necessarily. So there are intentions that, and then then you come in contact after the intention. Right? So let's not look in that way. Let's not look in the sequential way, but let's just think of it as being the basis of all other mental factors.
Which one?
Okay.
The contact.
다 누구인다. 생각을 내가 가려다 식당 발라 이것도 반 제발 생각식을 이래서
So what makes the mind, to engage in its object? Intention. So what does the contact do then?
You say I'm engaging with it, so it's the contact. How can there be an contact?
So it, there's a particular one, right? The particular object. So what does the attention do then?
It keeps you on
Holds
it.
the mind.
Holds it. Holds it.
Yeah, hold it.
Focus.
That's correct.
Yeah, it makes sense?
That does make sense.
What's the discrimination?
It's a flower, not a flower.
Particulars of the object.
It's a
And it's
preference.
Those are pretzels, not cookies, by the way.
What about the feeling? What does the feeling do?
It feels you want it.
Feels yummy.
It feels pleasant.
Provides feedback.
Experience.
Yeah, it's.
Youngers. So therefore, in order to complete the experience of that object, you have to have all these five. If one of these is missing, then the experiment of that object will not be complete. So you might feel, you might think, what kind of feeling do I get from this book, right? So if you like the book, you'll have a good feeling. If you don't like the book, you'll have not good feeling. So if you don't feel anything, and when you'll have like, what's that? The neutral feeling. If you don't feel good or bad, you have a neutral feeling. So, before that feeling, you have to know what is this, right? So is this a book, or it's not a book, it's a good book, a bad book, whatever. That's the discrimination. And so in order to have that, you have to have the mind that, particularly looks at that book, right? And so then before that or after that, you have to hold the book, right, with your attention. Attention, it's like without without the mind, to which the object appears but not ascertained. So we use other word as inattentive, so inattentive mind. Should not have, without the inattentive mind, look at it. And then before that, you have to have the mind in general to engage in the object, right? So in this text, it's pretty clear, right? It says, distinguish an object in accordance with whatever subsequent feelings, pleasant and so forth, experience. Anyway, so it has the function of acting as a support for feeling, right? It only says feeling, it doesn't say other things, right? But in the compendium of this science, Buddhist science, that's put together by all the scholars, like the Geshes and so forth, in that text that Geshe is using. And there it says it serves as a support for intention, attention, and feeling also.
Because this is we have to think
so
about
that's now when it says that, then now that's causing confusion, right? So the debate is about that. So otherwise, it makes sense, right? From what we just discussed.
Yeah. My hand's mind, okay, not my hand. It's mind. Okay, but you guys more debate. Think about that, okay? Okay, homework. Yes.
So the correct sequence would be intention, contact, attention, feeling, discrimination.
Discrimination, feeling. Discrimination, feeling, yeah.
Attention, Attention's last, right? She said-
No, attention is the third. Attention is, intention is the first,
Right.
conduct is the second, and then the attention is the third, and discrimination is the fourth, and feeling is the fifth.
Makes sense.
오케이? 그럼 우리는 내는 누가 가서 가시 레방 내지 이래서 오죠. 가시 레방 이래서 가서 된다는 거.
So that, I mean, the way it is presented here in the text is different, right? It could be, it could be different ways, but just talking in general, that's what I feel like, but not necessarily it has to be true that way also. We can discuss.
Okay. Okay, how many people do homework? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. No? What happened? Okay. Deborah, you did? You did? You did? You did homework? Jennifer, you did? What you did?
I did, but I left it home.
Oh! Howard, you did? You did? No, okay. You did? Okay, I think most people did. Okay, do they read the maybe Harvard? The
What would be the problem if there is no discrimination?
I have two answers, and they're both based on Vasubandhu's Treasury of Knowledge.
Good.
So they're scriptural scrolls in the book. And in general, the first problem is whenever one of the 5 omnipresent mental factors is missing, enjoyment of the object is not complete. So it's an incomplete experience. And then in particular, also from the same source, without discrimination, the designation of verbal conventions does not occur.
그래서 중가서 다 배제한 빌드 나눠서 거. 다들 고려만 지금 마찬가지네. 저 가서 용도 많았어. 유저가 용도 많았어. 다 하셔서. And then so the second part you said?
But the second part in particular, it said, without discrimination, the designation of verbal conventions does not occur.
The 가서 맞아 그 시험하고이나 네 맞아 나기 되지 들려라지라 뒤로 말했어. 나기.
Okay, then good. Jennifer?
Verbal convention.
I said that,
Knock is it?
didn't share it. Another 라방에 가서
아니, 가야 돼.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah, Deborah, okay. Jennifer?
Discrimination is essential to identifying what is negated by the view of selflessness. And so my source is Jeffrey Hopkins, a Westerner, who said, discrimination is the heart of identifying the object of negation in the view of selflessness, and then reflecting on reasoning, proving non-inherent existence.
가세요.
가서 두시디 가서 동문이 지들아 동문이 디레티 마스 지어라 아티 조세 디레스 코레스 두시레스.
Good. Who follow them? Who have different answer?
I
You have
have
different?
source, but
Okay, yeah, different source.
it makes sense. You would not, it's from Venerable George, it says you will not be able to give names or impute conventionalities or designate expressions to objects. And without discrimination, the perceptual field will just be one undifferentiated whole. It just be like this gray blob.
Okay. Deborah, you have different?
I had, no, the same as the other one.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I don't have anything to add, but I do like the imputation of convention, those parts of the
What camera you have?
answers.
Different? How are you? Bob, you have?
I said liberation is not possible without discrimination, kind of similar, but then a different source. Shantideva said, without having identified the object of negation, which is imputation, the absence of the object cannot be apprehended.
가서 두시면은 되는 들어와요 말했어. 가서 나도다디 동문이 또 올라다 가서 가지게 되라. 가지게 될 스티브한테 직 두시기 때문에 그 모습 모습은 내 동문이 또 와요 말했어.
That's good, yeah. I think you all same. That's good. Okay, how will Kali go?
디노시에서 되면 지금 디노 나와요.
Very fun. You found the teachers?
It did. I know it was one of these two. I'm looking for it.
Okay, then do give the next time, okay?
Okay.
근데 따지를 집어야 관심 대신에마다 이게 통을 뿌리제도 말해서 뿌리제도 강화하셔도 말고.
So just like it says in the text, right? If there's no discrimination, and you're not able to distinguish the objects from here and from this and that, right?
Okay, you got good answer. You have a good answer? No, yeah.
I just said this is just myself. You would not be able to create karma for ourselves.
Based off of this.
Yeah, very good. Okay, time to go.
Okay, so the next second question. When discrimination is divided, there are two. So the apprehension of the sign and apprehension of mark, right? How many bases of engagement are there for these two types of discriminations?
How many?
4.
What are they?
Perceptions, hearing, differentiation, and knowledge.
Tuba, Sera Je Monastery.
What's it?
Perceptions, hearing, differentiation, and knowledge. It's on page.
알겠는데, 통화, 투바, Sera Je Monastery. Okay, that's good. Everyone same or different? No, some different will be more difficult than okay.
And Venerable George is actually said that perceptions should possibly be translated rather to see, because hearing is also a perception, right? If you go to perceptions, they're all your senses. And so he says, seeing is...
통화제가 담지. 통화제.
Don't too much. Then too much.
Yeah,
Sera Je.
that's right. Yeah, it should be seen, right, rather than perception. Like the perception is a general term for all the consciousnesses.
Okay, yes.
When I was here last time, and this isn't with respect to the questions that were sent over the email, but what I wrote down was how many objects are there engaged by discrimination? And so that's a different question than what the basics of engagement
the
are.
question got changed.
It got changed, okay. So.
Okay.
That was the original one, and then there was a conference.
Yeah, that is she that
So that's your question, the basis of engagement, right? And then the answer is 2 of the 4, right? The hearing, seeing, hearing, differentiating, and knowledge.
Okay. Okay, 3, yes. Okay, what is
It's
it?
a little late, but it took me a long time. It's page 50 in the
Page 15?
50 explanation and presentation of objects and object possessors.
Oh,
Good, you guys did very good.
so this is the same book as this one?
No, that's a this is a knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Different book?
The first
Oh, very good.
전부 다 다르다. The verbal compassion은 하나다. Verbal 나도 나와서.
Not good theory,
So what do you understand when it says designation of verbal convention?
I didn't understand too much. It's just basically what I know. I mean, in a general sense, it's what you're not able to say. It's this or that.
Isn't it the term you designate? That's how I understand it. It's a term you associate. That's the table.
The 나기 지켜야죠. 대쪽들에서 나기 지켜야죠. 이거 말했어.
대용도 됐다 그랬어.
네, 얘네가 나기.
그래, 딱 나기 대화가 용말, 나기 프린트 말했어.
네.
나기 프린트 대화 좀 했어.
대가
당연히 공마가 당연히 영을 고마워. 공마가 제가 당연히 되게 고마워.
No, now it makes sense, right? Yeah.
Okay, then.
So the term, yeah, if you use the term like that, it's easier. Rather than just saying the verbal convention, it's a very, the huge meaning, right? So.
Okay. 근데 다시 좀 하지. 대한 사람도 말아, 대한 사람도 정확하게 다시.
So the third one is what is the difference between the apprehension of the sign and with regards to that object and apprehension of the sign with regards to the convention?
It's can't get it. Okay, well, Dalai, yes?
The apprehension of a sign with regard to an object knows the qualities of an object such as like the color and the shape, and the apprehension of a sign with regard to convention knows the label or the term for that object.
We have different.
Apprehension of the sign in regards to the object is non-conceptual consciousness, and apprehension of the mark with regards to a convention is a conceptual consciousness.
It's not.
Okay.
Convention with regards to the object is non-conceptual?
Yeah.
No, convention is conceptual. Object.
Tenley, 그래서 도매스. Object is conceptual. Object is non-conceptual. Tenley, 그래서 된다 가르친다.
된다 단위.
된다 단위. tenley는 그래서 도매스. 단위도 또 그랬어.
Do you find some any text? Text doesn't say? Better than that.
Yeah, actually it's in the text.
Yeah.
Yeah, top of page 20. It says, apprehension of the uncommon sign of the object which appears to a non-conceptual consciousness, and the apprehension of a mark is an uncommon sign of an object which appears to a conceptual thought.
That's the difference between sign and mark,
Sign.
not the actual
Yeah, that's
difference
question
between
two.
object and
That's question
convention.
two.
Right.
Good.
Venerable George also said with object, it's different objects of the senses.
But that can still be conceptual. Like if you're looking at the particularities of an object, you can still do that conceptually, like
But you can do it both ways.
Right, so then
Yeah.
it's not inherently,
It doesn't, I can say it doesn't have to be non-conceptual, it can be conceptual as well.
Does it work for you? It doesn't have for you, right? Okay. What would we call it, George Garcia?
Venerable George says it's the differentiation with regards to the object, it's different objects of the senses. So different tastes, different sounds, different, those are the objects.
이 가서 음식이 유카스 그래서 유. 된세대. 된가 유 음식이 된가 된세도 그는 내가 유로 쉐는데.
진짜로. 아니 대화 다니세요 앞에나. 대화는 앞에나 까와디 가고 노마대한 대셔를 주시고 대셔 말씀.
아.
까와디 그냥 돈들이 되는 거. 대가를 되는 거를 노마대를 되는 가격이 되다. 된. 춤이 와서 가격이 되는 말 와.
춤이 좋아서.
춤 다음으로 주 또다시 주셔야 되는 거세요. 어떻게 되셔 말 와. 가격이 되는 가격이 노마대 되셔 그래서. 대가격이 된다 되지. 당연히 아니 도대체 되시는 것을 아니 단이나 고들라 그랬어. 단이나가 까와라 그래서. 근데 제게들 뭐미 단이 가는 단이나 까와라 그래서.
So the apprehension of the sign with regards to an object means to apprehend it through individually distinguishing the object's particularities, such as blue, yellow, and so forth. And to apprehend it through individually distinguishing the object's particularities. So what do you understand from that? Means to apprehend it through individually distinguishing the object's particularities. 다들 가르쳐야 맞았다. 디나 가라도 비전나가? 되나?
아니 몸보다 세보다 된지 버려서서 신는 좀 봤어.
어디? 된게 불이 쏟아 된지 봤어.
근데 배나 몸보 된셔. 세보 된셔. 카카 생기셔 와. 배나 까와디가 도마대게 된셔 봐. 비 그런 니바서는 다 그런 되나 뭐네. 근데 도마시는 미가드나 다니라 아니 까와라 그래서 다니라 좀 봤어.
So it's almost like saying, the purpose and the name, the purpose and the name. So so instead of saying the object, if you say purpose or meaning or the purpose, right? Function, So the function maybe. So So what is the purpose, of the pillar? Is to hold the beam. It's not to hold water. So what is the, whose purpose is it? The function of holding the water is done by who? Like say a pot, a glass, right? And a pot, a vase, holds the water. So that's purpose of the vase is to hold water, not to support a pillar. The beam. And so the purpose of, or the function of the pillar is to support beam, not to hold water like that. And so that's the purpose or the function, right? And the term, the convention, the term, is a pillar. The pillar will be the term.
But the particularities could be
Square, tall, round, red, those are the particular, so it has both things. It's like a cup, it's white, and it's round, and it's got a top, but its function is to hold water. But that's the thing, and then with the convention, I put a cup on.
That's right, yeah, so that's the label, the name.
But before that, it has all these,
The function. So it's the function or the purpose, If you just say object, it's like very vast. It's a very general. Yeah. So yeah, it's like what does it do and what's it called? It's like that. So the object will be what does it do, what is its function, what is its purpose, and then the convention will be what is it called?
what does it look like?
What is it called?
But then it can't just be function. It has to also be, well, what does it look like?
Yeah, the 자화상 말이지. 되게 자화서 되게 잘 내가서로. 그 거울 내가리 동안 동안이라. and 왜 내가도 추수하래. 그래서 무엇은 내가서 말이지. 근데 그런 통합을 해야 되는 대학 고치고 있어. 그래서 그런 통합을 그런 소다 해야 돼. 그런 입한대요. 그런 가도 한대요. 기술을 고치고. 가는 데다 가도 뿌리죠. 그래서
오다 때 고에 대고는 때문에 문보 해가지고 까불 해가지고 가까이 온도 왔어. 된다 되지. 아니 단위 오다 되는 증들은 문보라 그래 까불라 그래서 그 미들도.
그러다 데도 모나스나 다데 더 율기도 가도 시가 말이야. 가도 그런 시가 말이야. 율기 가도. 율대이 가도.
따뜻해서 말서 보다 봤지. 이런 회사를 봤지.
Yeah, so maybe you can say that way because and like it says here, right? Like it says, such as the blue, yellow, and so forth. So is it talking about the blue, yellow itself, or the color of the object?
Okay, take one more time. Okay, now we have no much time. 나 당을 저시를 로는 달린 요라 마을에서 봐. 내가 들어서 뭐 당을 봐. 저시거든.
Alright, so we just stop here. About that, that's maybe too much to discuss here. And then 4 is even more complicated. This discrimination is given in the relationship between name and objects. Apprehension of a sign with regards to an object, or apprehension of a sign with regards to convention. So now think more deeply about that.
The community.
Which one do you think?
What do you think? How many people think both? How many people think?
What's the question?
Discrimination skilled in the relationship between names and objects.
I say both.
Well, what's the question?
Is the discrimination skilled in the relationship between names and objects apprehension of a sign with regards to object or apprehension of sign with regards to convention?
So the thing you have to
Discrimination skilled in the relationship between name and object, is that apprehension of sign with regards to object, or is that an apprehension of sign with regards to convention?
How many people are here? No, both.
I say both.
Both. How many people think only one? That is one.
I thought it was just one.
It's both.
미가 되는 도와 개발. 내 미대다. 대단히 제가 돼서 골라도.
So it's like discrimination, discrimination. Oh, this is the name, this is the function, so that's both. So.
Okay, next homework. Are you guys ready?
We're going to switch it up after we write down.
It might, so yeah, the final one will be the email that you get.
Okay.
You get email? You just email? You get email?
Yeah, I'm so busy, I'm just, It's hard to like, it's hard to like put my attention and hold it.
Yeah, hold it, okay?
Yeah.
That is yes, good, yes, yes.
You need attention.
Okay? Sembi shele kareres, sembi shele na de kareres.
So first question, what is the function of intention?
Right down, okay?
Intention.
Yeah.
Okay? And then sembi less na kareji lagares, sembi less na kareji lagares.
So what is the meaning of intention? The intention karma.
What, is that one or two?
Two, the second one. First is the words karo leg.
What is the function of intention? The second one is what is the
Sembi less na kareres.
so what is the meaning of intention karma? Intentional karma or intention karma? Intentional karma. Intentional karma.
Intentional karma?
Yeah. Not the intended, okay? Intentional.
Okay? Nibachi. Sumbati kulundu chibi wanda shena lelam kasayos, ledalam kasayos.
Kulung?
Kulundu chibi wanda shena lelam chusay doa.
How did they?
Dina doa. Tani lo ba.
So
Tati lo shena kai te den de ba. Kulundu chibi wanda shena lelam kasayos.
called the Kidden Mudwe.
당연히 줄로 봐. 내실라. 그런데 집이 원다 신나 레름 취세도. 당연히 저도 바꾸셔.
레르 되셔.
그런데 집이 원다 신나 레름 취소서. 다 취제마다 레름 가서 요티죠. 내는 베기네. 그래서 돈데 되는 거스.
그럼
그런데 집이 원다 신나 레름 가 쪼고서도. 당연히 로이. 근데
두시 말디? 셈바라데.
셈바. 콜론다 집에 원다 신나. 레름 가서 요스.
So we're talking about the intent actions that are intention, intended action, right? So talking about the intent action that are intention. Okay, so that's that.
So what's the third question?
Yeah,
it's coming.
I'm trying to think, how to put it this. Because if we say that like that, you might not understand. Again, it would be like, object of engagement, or basis of engagement and object of engagement. They'll be two different things.
Good, you guys could start walking.
Sonomda, sonomamile, the general economy.
The economy.
The economy. Okay.
Your question? Maybe.
I just wanted to wait for the right time. I was wanting to ask this earlier, but it's not waiting. What is a mental sense power?
Mental sense power? Is there such things?
That's intention.
Okay, so now the third question. How many actions are there taking into the account of their motivation?
How many actions are there taking into account?
Got it?
Taking into account.
Into the account of their motivation.
You got it? Everyone got it?
So if you read the text, you'll know it.
Their motivation.
How many actions are taking into account their motivation?
Yes. I mean, how many actions are there?
How many actions
Are there taking into account of their motivation?
Yeah, into account.
Of their motivation.
Anyone's.
Huh?
We're not talking about the next section of the text, we're talking about what we just studied so far.
Yes. The intention. We're talking about intention.
Semba.
It's all about intention. Yes.
It's how many actions are there, comma.
Yeah. Intention. We're talking about the intention.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the
Right?
five.
How many actions are there, comma?
Yeah, I think like that.
Yes, taking into account of
I think, yeah, she
motivation.
got it, yeah. But
So
you have
if
to
you read the
careful.
text,
And
it's there.
there is referring to,
Belonging to somebody, being.
Janet.
the pronoun for,
Oh, this problem, Janet, that's Janet.
For karma.
okay.
For karma.
그래, then to somebody there.
다시 와야 된다. 레당 전라년 주지 레근 세시티스.
Okay, so then the fourth caution is
레당 전라년 주지 레근 세시티스. 무슨 제스? 레당 전라년 주지 레요. 도진용 지레, 레당 전라년 주지 레.
아니,
숨러.
그래. 통전 연주래. 아니, 레다시아는 연주래. 아니.
한타치 라서. 알레 깨는 연주래. 깨는 연주래. 레당 전라년. 도진 연주래. 깨는 연주 레당 전라년 연주. 다 레당 전라년 연주 레근 세시 무슨.
Okay, so how do they say it here?
You got this third caution? Everyone got it, right?
Maybe just read it again. It says, how many actions are they taking into account of their motivation?
I think it looks like you right.
That's exactly what, yeah. It's
Yes.
How many actions are there taking into account of their motivation?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so, yeah, just put it like that because that's in the text. So, okay, the fourth question is provide an example of action that will be experienced in some other rebirth.
Identify one.
Provide an example of an action that will be experienced in some other rebirth. So there's the experience in this life, in very next life, and then some other rebirth, right? So now example of the actions which the result is experienced in some other rebirth.
Some other future.
Yeah.
Anyone got it? Okay.
Why do you say future?
Yeah, no, I know, I'm just, my mind does.
그래, 그 what 그래.
Future.
It has to be true.
그거 가서 먼저 옹시어라. 이게 옹시를 가르쳐.
아.
mental sense power.
Yeah, I know that.
이게 옹은 이게 옹보.
That'd be messy.
이게 옹보.
이게 옹보 다 가서 옹보 이게 옹은 세죠.
이게 옹네.
미기 옹보 나 옹보 세죠라. 나 미기 옹보 나 옹보 세죠라 가서 이게 옹보 상 가르쳐.
다 이시 대사들 이시 대사들 이지시 대사.
이게 시버데.
이징연수 대사.
맞다. 이게 옹어다. 이게 옹보이. 이원다 가서 이원다
그런 거 도무지 영원히 되게 고시더라고.
이원다 다 옹시다 이셰스 니어라. 이기 옹보 셔버 이기 옹모스 가서 살아.
다들 이지시 봐 이지.
예.
예수 영역에 이시 들어가겠어. 예수 영역에 이시.
예. 또 이게 셔버 댄서들아.
이지 봐 댄서.
댄서 가르쳐 알아.
다때 이지 봐 그러고. 다 무시라나 오시던데 도도 땡겨 왔어. 다 고한테 제사기 가서
내가 가르쳐 알아.
다때 이지 오보자고 그러다.
이게 옹보세 맞아. 이게 옹시에서 가르쳐 알아.
뭐 온시란 말이야. 이용사로. 그런 거 도무지
이게 옹시에서 왔다 하잖아. 난 이셰다 옹시에서 난 가서
이지 온시란 말이야. 이지 온에. 온봉에서. 온시 말이야 이시다. 다들 간도 주선 좀 하셔야. Okay, we will talk about that.
We'll talk about that later because
okay.
I'm not sure exactly, so when you say sense power and sense consciousness, right? We're talking about the sense consciousness and sense power. So sense consciousness is based on sense power, right? In order to be able to have the eye consciousness, which can see the object, you have to have the eyeball, right? So the eyeball, the pupil, that's the eye sense power, that allows the eye consciousness to come up, So eye consciousness is based on that. Just like that, for the mental consciousness, there's a mental sense power, so that was, so exactly what it is, as Geshe we have to think about, so we'll talk about that next time.
Gewandi Nyotundo, Lama Sanjin Rajan, Doa Chijamala, Ti Salam Cobra Show, Jambal Power, Children Chambana, Kondo Sambo, Tea, Tada Kaji, Gewanda Dotam Rabdo Mo, Tisam Shavi, Jawatam Jaji, Moa Kalan, Chodam, Dajan Gavito, Sambo Rabdo Mo, Mimete, Timmy Chimbo, Mojamba, the woman, Udrujala, so and they thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be really quick.
Shortcut.
I'll also do a very short cut. Just please be here on Friday night for Venerable Tipton children. Stop me outside if you have any questions. We'll definitely need people just to help be greeters, setting up the class, breaking down the class, and then obviously a hand here and there with driving around and things like that. So just, I've sent out the newsletter. I sent a notice again. There's a Sign Up Genius. Please sign up for that. And then also on Saturday, we'll have a potluck. So whatever vegetarian dish, welcome, no garlic, onions, radishes, things like that. Basically nothing of really strong flavor, specifically garlic and onions as well. So that's it. I can't think of anything else. Nope. Thank you.